Excuse the hood that I have on my head. I really didn't want to do my hair because it is currently 4 a.m. in the morning, but this may be one of the hardest videos I have ever made on this channel. And I say this with a grain of salt because I've had many hard videos on my channel where I just yapped about my personal experience. Yet, I kind of got away from that. As of recent, you've noticed I've been posting less and less, and there hasn't been many uploads. The only upload I have of this year is me cutting my hair, to which in turn is directly correlated to what I've been going through, but not necessarily something that is bad. It's just me redirecting my energy and putting it towards a new beginning. But what I really want to talk about, the hardship that I have on my heart, that I just cannot fall asleep for the life of me tonight, is letting go of someone, even though you still love them and you miss them. Now, I have an unreleased video that I might repeat myself. I'm not too sure how much I've said in that video that I will cover in this one. However, I do want to brush on the fact that a lot of this has been me mentally struggling with relationships that I've had to let go in the past. And it can stem from, I can honestly say the last relationship I actually had was when I was 23 years old. I'm 25 now, so 2 years isn't that big of a dip. But in between those 2 years, I've had situations where I did find love in a person who was not ready. And it's not just a singular person. It's actually been a couple, meaning two. But more or less, me, myself, I've realized that since high school, really, I've been a person who has been eager to be in a relationship, a committed relationship with someone who invests in me the amount that I invest in them. And not in a tit for tat sort of thing, or I weigh what they put in versus me, but in an actual partnership. And I've realized in the past that those relationships definitely didn't have the covenant of God in it. That's also because I wasn't deep within my walk of faith. That's another video for another day, but I more so want to dive into just the overall timeline of me in relationships and why I have such a caring, loving heart that I invest into other people in a way that I in turn am left shattered, just completely destroyed. And it's been tolling on my mental for sure. Even though I discuss a lot of things to improve your mental health, detachment and healthy detachment, not unhealthy detachment where you're attaching to someone else, using and abusing drugs and whatnot. We don't want to do that. We want to do it in a healthy manner to where we actually heal. And the healing process, man, it's been beating my ass. Oh my gosh. I promise you it's never linear. It is not an easy task. And for those of you who are struggling and trying to heal from someone, bless your heart, because I know how it is. There was a person in my past who I'm still very strongly struggling to make amends with. And the funniest thing is my healing process and getting to a conclusion of realizing that they may never come back. Truth be told, they did come back. And they came back with an apology that I never suspected. I never asked for it, and I honestly left it to God because there was nothing more I could do about that situation, right? We no longer live in the same vicinity, so it was something that I did have to go through and let go of again because I was still young at the time. I was way too afraid to confront this person about the boundaries being broken and the trust that I had within the situation, that if I communicated what was hurting me, what was disappointing me, that they would find it worth enough for them to change for me because I wanted nothing but the best for them. And you can honestly hear the shakiness in my voice because this is so nerve-wracking to me. To love someone and to have to let them go is an utterly destructive thing. It's the hardest thing, in my personal opinion, about relationships. Because yes, you can love someone still when they overstep your boundaries. Hence, that's the situation that I'm talking about. And then you can also love someone through the lack of communication because you're still giving benefit of the doubt. You still expect this person to take in what you're saying to them and to change in a way that improves your guys' relationship together. And when that doesn't happen, the person who is waiting for this person to change may be waiting forever, because on the receiving end of that, the person giving you the less amount of energy and communication, not able to truly communicate and come to a compromise of communication that works for both of you guys. They're just in their own plane, in their own realm, where they see you constantly still in their life, waiting and waiting. And that waiting never comes back as a reality check until you completely take yourself away from that situation. This is why we see so many people return after abstinence, after completely severing that bond. And it's so sucky because it hurts every single time when they come back and realize that they were the one in the wrong. And this is not to bash anybody, but it's for the simple fact that emotional intelligence in relationships, it's very important. It's important to understand the actions that you have towards another person can affect that person in a positive or a negative way. And you have to carry that with you. You have to understand that this person is a whole human being. You don't know what they're thinking. You don't know what they're processing unless you have that open communication. And again, there's another topic that I talked about in that previous video. Yes, people still love someone through cheating, through dishonesty. They take them back and they work through that pain, that hardship, because they love that person and they want to be with this individual. But if you give endless chances to people who show you they were not ready to change, they are not capable of change, you will find yourself wasting so much time on wasted potential in this person rather than knowing for sure it is time to get up and walk away. And I tell you, I get stuck in this all the time myself, because whenever I choose to commit, whenever I choose to commit in a relationship or bring someone into my life, it's not on an easy scale. It's not something that is, oh, I like this person, they're allowed in my space. There's so much that goes on in my life, goes on in my head, that I have so many different attention aspects to. I have multifaceted hobbies that just occupy my attention as well, to the point where it's kind of difficult for me to accept someone into my life and my routine when I'm just like mentally tapped out. I can't see myself just being with someone to be with someone. A lot of it is due to the fact that I see this person as a longevity thing, and I want to build with this person. I want to pour my efforts and energy into it because I know what it's like to have that lack thereof, to have someone who isn't able to reciprocate that energy. So loving people through these periods and having to let them go. And let's talk about when they come back, because I, in my life, couldn't tell you the amount of times where relationships that I didn't even want to sever or break, this person let me go and I completely disconnected myself. I didn't even want to be friends. I didn't want to communicate with this person because it was so hard for me to have that detachment to go back to being just friends, that my mental disruption didn't allow me to stay around for not only, I'm not going to say they're reaping the benefits of having that access to me, but then again, it's like, why would you want to come back to someone that you walked away from? I still struggle with the ideology of right person, wrong time. But then I also agree with this for the fact that a lot of people, they don't understand or know what they had until it's truly gone. And you will have people who regret that, who think about it, and who come back to knowing that maybe they themselves were too young. They didn't understand the emotional depth behind the person who was actually wanting a relationship with them, so on and so forth. I'm not giving excuses to people because we're grown and you know what you're doing. But to a degree, a lot of people are emotionally closed off. And it's very, very difficult to find love in this generation right now. And a lot of it is due to the fact social media is so, oh my gosh, our damn phones and everything. It's just crazy to me. And it's really hard to feel like you have to compete with someone who is completely different than you. And I want to go into like me, myself. I've always found myself to be more so of a awkward, random, rare type of person because like I feel like I'm not like other women, and I don't want to be a cliche, but I'm not. But at the same time I am, because I am a woman. But I digress. That's just something that I'm rambling on about that I can dissect in another video. But back to this being one of the most difficult videos I have ever made. I've never yapped this much without any type of pausing, so it honestly wasn't as hard as I thought, because once I started pouring this out and really coming to my senses and believing what I'm saying, it's honestly true. You have to take it upon yourself to know when enough is enough and to let go of this person, even though you have all these feelings for them. I let God be my testimony, and if things were to happen, they will be. They will happen without me forcing something, because when you force something, it never works. Whenever you're trying to force something, like plug in a plug into the wall, after all that friction and stuff, you got a bent plug. It's just, that's an analogy I wanted to use, but just know forceful things are not worth it. You want to be easygoing and ease into everything that you start, because you don't have to rush through the process. You have to slowly ease into it, get a gist of it, understanding of it, know how it works, how it fuses, I guess, which is in correlation to people, and let it be what it is. You always have the memories and the love that you have and cherish of that person, but you shouldn't harp on the fact that this person is no longer in your life. And that's the beauty in things that I see all the time, because the amount of love that I have for someone that I know I do, it's very bittersweet for the fact that I know how I felt about them. I know I put forth my best effort. So I can never really feel bad on my behalf, because I know me, I know myself. And I hope everyone gets to that point where they know themselves and they know which direction to keep following, rather than backtracking to things that you've already said and said you should not be a part of. So I thank you all for listening to me yap. This video is almost 15 minutes. This is crazy. I've never had a video this long, and this is all due to the fact of insomnia. I've been having such a hard time, and I'm definitely going to make another video talking about other topics, but for this one, yeah, man, relationships, they're tough, but they're not impossible, and I'm not giving up on them, and neither should you.